Hey, I'm Ty, founder of Preservan, and welcome to another episode of Chart New Territories. And today we're going to have an amazing conversation with a brand new entrepreneur. We're going to talk about his journey going from engineer to preservationist. Welcome, Ben. Thanks for joining me, man. Super excited to have you here.
Thanks, Ty. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get this thing off the ground.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So before we get into where you're going, what you're going to be doing, let's kind of roll it back a little bit and talk about what you were doing prior to this. How did you get to this spot right here?
It's been a crazy journey. I worked.
Right. Past is right.
Yeah. I worked in aerospace engineering. I got to be the first employee after founders, joined them sitting in their living room and helped grow an aerospace company from the three of us to about 80 people.
Okay.
And
Aerospace. Okay. So now I'm curious. Just for everybody listening and watching, we've had this conversation before, but they've got to know, such an incredible journey, doing some really cool stuff. So you say aerospace. For those of us that aren't as smart as you, explain to us what that means, what you were working on, what you guys were building.
Yeah, we were working on building a hypersonic airplane.
Okay.
That would enable travel from LA to Tokyo in like an hour and a half.
Wow.
And I ran the test team.
Okay.
Where we would test rocket engines.
Yeah. Yeah, that is pretty wild. That is really amazing. So I guess that obviously, begs the question, why now? I mean, that sounds pretty cool to be doing that. So what's going on that you're like, you know what? That's cool. Love what I've done. Obviously super proud of it, but now I'm ready for the next thing. So why now?
It was a whole confluence of factors. I realized I finally counted it up. I've been doing aerospace for 20 years. So it's like, okay, I'm kind of ready for a new thing.
Yeah.
But then really the economy kind of started changing, and I realized I wasn't going to hit my financial goals, and
okay.
that I needed to change something. And so I think it was last October, I started looking for businesses to buy existing businesses to buy. I was not looking at franchises.
Okay.
And I ran down that path and finally realized the financial proposition of buying an existing business it's really just salary replacement.
Okay.
Unless you work really hard to grow the thing once you get it.
Yeah, you kind of have to buy something that has a lot of upside, because if it's doing really well, probably not going to change it that much. You got to find something that's got a lot of upside, where franchising can be a version of starting with kind of a roadmap. And so I guess we're kind of jumping ahead here, but kind of circling back a little bit. What was that process like? And how did you ultimately then come across Preservan?
Yeah, I looked at probably 30 different existing businesses. And then when I realized that really wasn't going to work out for me, I started looking at franchises, and I probably looked at about 50 different franchises.
Was there any particular business type that you were looking into? Was it of course, Preservan's a home service. Was it home service? Was it restaurant? Was it beauty? What was the...
I was looking, I landed in looking for home service type businesses. My initial selection criteria was I was looking for something that would be something I enjoyed.
Okay.
And also something that would at least have some recession resistance. I kind of had crossed off restaurants. I had crossed off a lot of the beauty and health kind of stuff, because when the economy starts getting rough, the first thing to go is hey, I probably don't need that gym membership.
Right? Yeah, right.
And so it's funny, because the way that I found Preservan is I called a broker about...
This is like a franchise broker, like somebody who buy businesses.
Franchise/business broker. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Someone who facilitates business sales.
Right.
I called her about an existing beauty shop in Dallas.
Okay.
It was the corporate location for a franchise. They were selling it. And so I talked to her about it and was like, yeah, that's definitely not what I want.
Yeah.
And she said, well, let me send over a few other things.
Okay.
And so she sent over a few other things, and she sent over Preservan, and she basically said, hey, I just heard about these guys like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Why don't you check them out? And so I got the links from you for the territories and the whole pile of data, which really resonated with me as
the engineer, right?
Yeah. As a test engineer, like my whole job for like 18 years has been to generate and interpret data.
Yeah.
And so, so I started looking at it and asking questions, and she was on there. And I think that she ended up actually also...
I mean, she might be getting an interview coming up soon. We don't want to like throw it out there too soon, but she might be one of our future interviews. Yeah.
So that was a really entertaining process.
Yeah, because she came to the Discovery Day with you. Yeah. It's such a crazy, doing all of these things, and the different individuals who I've gotten to meet through this process, how different people find out about what we're doing and about this. And so working with franchise consultants was a kind of a new one. And so, she was really great to, everybody's really great to take a chance on a new and emerging brand. She was awesome to share us. You were awesome to jump in. And I love the fact that the data is what interested you. And I'll get to why here in a minute. But before we get there, for everybody watching or listening that doesn't know about Preservan, share in your own words what Preservan does.
Yeah, so Preservan is really focused on repairing wood rot damage.
Okay.
In all kinds of structures.
Yeah.
We focus really heavily on wood windows, wood doors, but we also do a whole bunch of other architectural features.
Yeah.
So, the dental molding on an old historic home, really hard to get someone to come and fix that. We can take care of that really easily.
Yeah. So you say wood rot. Is that it? Because I've got twin 8-year-old boys who are really hard on like the wood parts of my house, like the my porch railing. So is it just wood rot, or can it be other things?
So we can repair most types of wood damage.
Okay. So like termites,
as long as the termites have been dealt with, we can come back in and repair the damage.
Yeah. Awesome. And I know you talked a little bit about it being a lot of historic stuff. Are there things outside of just historic houses that it can fix or repair?
Definitely. We can do historic homes, but we also do a lot of newer builds.
Okay.
Because newer homes have what they call new growth wood.
Yeah.
Which is really fast growing trees. They get them to grow really straight.
Yeah.
But they are not nearly as dense as the old growth.
Like wood. Grow for like 500 years.
Yeah, exactly. So the wood doesn't last as long. And sometimes building practices aren't very good. And so we're seeing a lot of wood rot and deterioration in newer homes.
Yeah. And the cool thing, you said recession proof. One of the things that I think that we both like about this is that, wood literally rot literally grows on trees, right? And so it really doesn't matter. Houses just get older, and it's like you're getting new inventory into what we can help repair every single year, because typically things start to rot at around the 15 to 20 year mark. And every year we get a few more houses, or thousands or more, millions more houses that are that age. So really cool as far as being kind of recession proof and having a long-term growth strategy. So just in general, so Preservan Dallas, tell us a little bit about the territory that you're going to serve. Like, how many territories is it, and what cities or neighborhoods does that encompass?
Yeah, we are covering a pretty good portion of Dallas. So we've got Dallas proper. We're focusing in on like Swiss Avenue and some of the historic districts around there. We're going to do a lot of work in Highland Park, University Park, but then we're going up to Carrollton. We'll go across to Garland and Plano and like Mesquite and Wiley. We're going to hit a bunch.
Kind of that kind of just downtown Dallas, kind of north. Man, great area. Of course, being and living here in OKC, when you go to the big city, that's Dallas. And so know some of those areas. It's a really great area. Love the city. Swiss Avenue is a beautiful neighborhood. Island Park, we toured that together a few months ago. Beautiful neighborhood, with a lot of opportunity for wood repair, right? So, Preservan's fixing wood rot or termites or, things that my twins break. Is there anybody else doing that type of work? I mean, we have a way that we do it, but there's got to be some competitors out there. What sets Preservan apart from those?
Yeah, so you can. There are other people that'll come and try to repair things. There's a few things that are really great about Preservan. The epoxy system that we have is proprietary.
Yeah,
and it is very good.
Yeah,
at bonding at restoring the wood that we keep in place,
right,
and then bonding to that wood.
Yeah.
Most other products aren't going to be able to really adhere like the product that we have.
Right, like Bondo or wood filler or something like that. Yeah.
Things they're gonna last a few years and then they're gonna crack and fall off.
Yeah.
We have a 10-year warranty on our product, and we expect it to last the life of the home.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I guess that in some ways, Preservan, they're just coming there to fix stuff. I know when I call somebody out to my house to look at something that's wrong, usually they're trying to make a project bigger, like do more.
Right. Yeah. We're not, we'll go around a home and find all the wood rot that's there.
Yeah.
So that we can try to get your home fully back to its high quality state.
Right.
So that it's not deteriorating further. But we're not trying to upsell you on new windows or anything like that. We're not going to tear your home apart, taking out windows and doors and things. We're going to repair what's there. If you're in a historic home, we're going to preserve the existing windows so that you're keeping as much of the original character of the house.
Yeah. So I know sometimes I think about people who specialize in working in historic preservation or other a lot of times these projects can get really expensive. How does Preservan line up with the competition as far as price-wise?
Price-wise, we tend to fall in the 90% cheaper range.
90% less than?
90% less.
I know I'm acting so super surprised. I know all this information.
You know all this information, but it is a crazy number to think about. If you're looking at replacing a window, you're talking anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000.
Yeah.
For a relatively normal size window.
Yeah, I know.
It can get crazy for big.
It can. We're sitting here in this amazing studio, and we have all these windows around us. And if these windows were wood with kind of the radius tops on them, people don't understand that these could be, not including installation costs, like $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 per window, depending upon the quality of window you buy. And it's insane that you take that and say, my house built in 1921 has 31 windows on it. Preservan's not doing that good. I'm not there to do that times 30. No. So the idea that it could be 90% less than is really great and really helpful to a lot of people.
The other thing too with that is if you need to go get a window like this replaced, it's probably a custom built window.
Right.
So it's going to take 3 to 6 months to get it built.
Yeah, absolutely.
When we can show up and do it in, it'll take us 2 days to do the repair, and we might be scheduling 2 to 4 weeks out.
Right. So get in, get it done. If I'm on a time crunch because I'm trying to sell my house or something like that, perfect solution. Yeah. Man, that's fantastic. It's such a benefit to just kind of your average everyday homeowner who just wants to get something fixed on their house and doesn't want to turn every little thing into a major renovation project. So I think that kind of loops into my next question, which is going to be, at Preservan, we say we don't have customers, we have neighbors. So as you think about that word neighbor and you think about going back home to Dallas and serving your community, how is that word neighbor going to impact the way that you treat these people inside of your area?
I think that it's a mindset. When I think of my neighbors, I think of the people that I'm going to interact with a few times a week. I'm going to see them, and I'm going to enjoy seeing them generally. And when I and my team go to work on someone's house, we don't want them to just be a number. But yeah, we're going to our neighbors' houses to reduce their stress level and make their houses look better. We're expecting to run into them again. Right. We're expecting to see them again and interact with them. We don't want it to be this thing where they're just a number. Yeah. And, I need to go down a different aisle because, we didn't do that great.
Yeah, right.
No, it's a big thing.
Yeah. And I guess that I'm sure that, I mean, there's a positive benefit to it, right? If you treat people like your neighbor, they'll tell their neighbors, right? Yeah. So that's good for us as well. Well, as we look out ahead and we finish up training this week, I guess what I'd like to know is kind of, owning a business and owning a Preservan franchise, what are kind of your personal goals that you hope to achieve with that?
I honestly, I have been looking to retire early.
Yeah?
For quite a while. Yeah, exactly. Right. And so that was that realization that I'm not going to meet my financial goals.
Right.
And so in, 5-ish years, my goal is to have stood up a really great operating business that I can then get some management in place, and I can be working fewer hours. And the reason for that is because I love learning and I have so many hobbies.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to restore some cars.
Love it, man.
I would like to have some property where I can have all kinds of farm animals.
Yeah.
That are expensive.
Yeah.
And they're never going to make money. So
right. No, it's fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just for fun. And I want to be more deeply involved in the community as well, helping people. I really have a heart for STEM.
Yeah.
Actually, they call it STEAM now because we're adding the arts in.
Yeah.
So
absolutely,
it's a big thing.
Yeah. Man, I love that. I love that, like, the idea to, like, there's a lot of different components there, but one is to run a great business. Two is to build in to semi-absentees so that it's being managed by an operator. And then the next part is to do something that matters and give back to your community. Such a great strategy for building what Dan Sullivan would call freedom of purpose. And I just love that. So you kind of already answered this, but I'm going to ask it one more time, or in a different way. As you look towards that 5-year goal, specifically, what kind of difference do you want to make there in Dallas?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot, just trying to set up goals for the company. And I think, like, obviously there's the goal of I want to help lots of neighbors and work on lots of really amazing homes.
Yeah.
But one of the big things that really sold me on Preservan is that we pay our technicians a true living wage.
Absolutely.
And so making a difference in those lives, in the people that I hire.
Yeah, I'm like getting goosebumps. I love it, man. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Ben, I am excited for what you're going to do. I'm excited for what you're going to accomplish. I'm excited for the technicians that you're going to bring on and give them a path to the same kind of success that you're going to build. And thank you for being here. Excited to finish training, man, and get you open.